Shiki-jitsu, or as it is known in the English title Ritual, is a movie directed by Hideaki Anno in the 2000s. If you don't know who this person is by now, he's more widely known for his work such as Godzilla, Evangelion, and Sailor Moon. This movie is a story about a girl who performs a daily ritual insisting that her birthday is coming tomorrow, though she keeps saying the same sentences every day in hopes for one day she'll truly disappear from the world, her desire of escape from this messed up world. But why? To get to know that, let me explain a little bit more to the movie, so without further ado, let me show you this beautiful and fantastic film, Shiki-jitsu. During his travel back to his hometown, our guy we'll refer to as the director encounters a girl laying by the train tracks doing her ritual. As I've mentioned before, her true goal is to finally disappear from the world, but this desire of her, what's exactly causing her to do such a thing? What is she trying to escape from? Well, in the film we find that she didn't have a good background as a child, as she plays an audio tape consisting of her mom being quite abusive to her then, comparing her with her bad influence sister and blaming her father for why her and her sister turned out to be the way they are. Clearly, her background isn't a very pleasant one, and it shows. She longs for affection, something she's never gotten throughout her whole life. And this is clearly shown in the film as later on we get a little more sense on what she does for her routines. Every day at 6 a.m. she would go to the rooftop to stand on the edge while holding onto a railing. She gives a breather and sees if she hasn't let go of the railing. If she hasn't, it both figuratively and literally means she's not ready to disappear yet from the world. After this ritual, she wanted to know more of the director and asks him to talk. He explains as a child he saw this show called Fireman, which piques her interest, but not because the talk was interesting, but rather her character is so devoid of attention that any conversation she gets becomes insanely interesting to her. Throughout their encounter, the director decides to make a film about her, hence the name being the director. What I personally found really interesting about his character is how mysterious he is, or I suppose calling him passive is the proper word. He rarely supports or reveals too much about himself, like how a director wouldn't interfere too much with their work. And despite the clear and obvious mental health issues the girl has, he only is there to watch and observe her as he finds her, well, interesting. Though his presence alone have made her develop a heavy codependency towards our director. So much so as even a hint of the director leaving or a sign that he is talking to someone else makes her think he'll abandon her like what everyone else has done to her. As they get closer and far more intimate with each other, the director can't help but feel exhausted, even to stating the fact that she depresses him. One day, he got sick with all the attention he's been getting from her and leaves without saying a word. This alone made her break down, not knowing what she's done or how to fix it. This is shown again at another scene where the director also goes out without telling her, but this time to meet up with some old friends of his. But being left out for the second time, she's had enough, and she offers her body. But this wasn't romantic. In fact, it was kind of tragic. Previously in the movie, she specifically mentions her hatred for sexual intimacy, but her worry of the director leaving her made her think so irrationally to the point of willing to do anything it takes to keep the director by her side. During the same scene, she mentions to the director that if the director leaves her, she'll be her sister. Just to remind you, her sister isn't a good figure of a sister. She seems to be some kind of rebellious character, and so becoming her sister is definitely not the best thing she should do. But the words that she said didn't mean that she'll be like her sister metaphorically, but rather she took the identity of her sister, and it is actually shown in the next scene where the next day after finding out there were other girls on the director's phone, she became an identity of her sister. Throughout the whole film, our director doesn't really involve himself with asking questions about the girl's past. Though with this time being different, our director uses this chance to finally crack down her past as he really wasn't able to do so before. Here we find that both her mother and father actually passed away when she was young. In fact, when their parents separated, her father died in a fire alongside his new woman on the same day as her birthday. We finally get a better understanding to what has been causing all of this mess. Her fear of being abandoned stemming from the death of her parents and the reason why she repeats her birthday tradition. It all makes sense. She continues to push people away as a method of self-defense. Despite her mother being abusive towards her, she still sought her mother's attention. But being scared over her though, she's forced to abandon this idea. Because of this, she grows up to push people away as a way for her to not be attached to them in the first place, avoiding any possibility of anyone leaving her. And as for her repeating her birthday, I'd like to think there's multiple meaning to this. One of them being the fact that she uses her birthday as a happy expectation to live another day of tomorrow. And the other being mentally avoiding the day where her parents actually died, by telling herself that the day that it happened specifically will always come tomorrow and not today. And that's it. That's the end of the film Shiki-jitsu. As our director visits the basement, 2 pictures of her mother is shown, with one of them being stabbed. As he gets closer to look at the picture, the wall actually falls down and we're shown a massive collage of her mother's picture. Coincidentally, at around this time, a call rings from a telephone. But who could it be? He finds her doing her ritual at the railway and tells her that her mother called. But wait, didn't her mother pass away in the fire? Turns out, she lied to us. Well, sort of. When she was a child, she was scared of her mother leaving her, but at the same time, she was scared of her abusive mother. So, she cursed everyone to drive them away from her, but that said curse will pass on her birthday. So she hopes to lift that curse by believing her birthday will always come tomorrow. But her mother didn't go away. Well, not in her mind she didn't. So she had to mentally kill her over and over again until the delusion of her mother passing away. And that's it. The story of shiki-jitsu. I think the direction taken in this movie was fantastic, displaying many several issues that stems from one singular action, being the abuse of her mother in the movie leading to the dysfunction of her in the first place. Previously, about what I said about the meaning of her ritual and her birthday, I still kind of stand by that point that I've mentioned. I think this movie can be taken with a lot of different perspective, and I'd love for you to give it a try, because it's really fun. Well, I wanted to get a video out quick, and I'm not quite sure if I've improved with this video, so please, I would appreciate any constructive criticism in the comments, and thank you for watching this video. I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.